We're gonna make explosions absolutely stupid today. +1 explosion damage when picking up a consumable while at full health. Consumables also explode every time we pick them up, 10 damage to begin with. We're also going to get the shredder because projectiles have a 50% chance to explode on hit. And to begin with, that's not going to be super big. We're mostly just looking for lots of consumables on the ground, so we're going to need lots of trees. I'm actually going to get some harvesting going right away since it's wave 1, and then by the time they hit wave 20, those will be worth a lot more. Then we're going to look for more items that can help us. More trees spawn, that is exactly the kind of thing we need. There's also another shredder, we'll take another one of those, we're going to lock that for its attack speed, we're going to reroll anyway, and there's another shredder for next round. This is also peak appearance at this point too. We've got 2 weapons that have a 50% chance to cause an explosion. Every time we pick up one of these, more explosive damage. So if we get enough trees, this will get really dumb. And that even works at the end of the round when you suck everything in. We're also going to have a 25% chance to deal 12 damage to random enemy when you pick up a material. 5% attack speed because explosives tend to be a little bit on the slower side. I'm going to take the 10% attack speed. We're going to save the shredder for next time. We're going to keep rolling. We were pretty fond of the grenade launcher last time. That did do a ton of damage for us. And I think we get plus explosives for any consumable we pick up, whether that's a treasure chest or a fruit or whatever else even possibly could be. All I know is I haven't taken any damage yet, but we've added explosive damage to our arsenal. Probably going to need some HP. So we'll take a shredder. Harvesting is up to 7, but that's just easy money for us. There's another shredder, so we'll just keep stacking those up for now. We're going to lock the banner. That's going to add range and attack speed. Both are helpful for explosions, and another shredder. We'll roll one more time. Was hoping we get lucky. But you don't need luck when you have 4 guns that all cause big explosions. Might have to turn the explosive effect off later. I'm going to give you the flashing warning thing right now because things are going to get flashy. At least I hope they are. I'm not doing my job properly if they're not. I'm going to try and avoid the cursed enemies for a little while. Just because we get an achievement for actually avoiding them till level 20. If we can manage that, that would be great. Well, there's 8 max HP. We don't need knockback because we're just going to blow everything up. Then we're going to take another 10% attack speed. Plus another 10% attack speed there. We'll re-roll once or twice, hoping to get something good. We don't need a lot of range if we have a lot of explosives, I think. So we already have an 11% explosion damage and 15% explosion size. There's a few particularly rare upgrades that will also help the explosive size and damage that we definitely want. I said I wasn't going to kill those. I almost forgot. I almost accidentally murdered that creature. He might wander up here, we might end up killing him anyway due to explosions. That's not the end of the world, I would just prefer to avoid it. I have a plan. Come on, get that tree, we got the consumable. Yeah, perfect. We just need as many things as possible to drop on the ground. Gotta keep that in mind. I'm gonna do another 8 harvesting because that's already up to 17. That's $17 per round. We'll take a shredder, we'll take a little bit more luck. The shredders are showing up quite a lot. 10 range, 25% chance to instantly attract the material when dropped. We will take that. And then it's right back to work. These guns are actually really good. Maybe it's extra explosion damage is helping, but I've only got 5 of them so far, and so far everything is absolutely melting. This wave definitely is a little bit more challenging. Enemies are getting stronger, so we are going to need just a little bit more explosion damage and chance. But the numbers will always get really big. You can make anything work if you've got enough time on your hands. 12% damage, that's a rare upgrade so early. Also 45 range, yeah, so that's a lot of both of those. We don't really need to upgrade those for a while. I'm going to take another shredder. We'll do the gecko. We're actually starting to make some pretty good money. I think I've got to take this. Locked items and weapons have a 20% chance to become cursed when leaving the shop. It is going to give me 1 curse, our first one, but that's okay. It's only 1 for now. Explosion damage is up to 16 though, so that's actually climbing fairly quickly. Lots of consumables dropping this round. This will be a big damage booster for us. I think we've already picked up 6 or 7, probably 8 now of those damage boosters, and I'm not sure if it's capped per level. I hope it's not, because we could definitely stack some pretty big damage. I'm pretty sure at the end we'll suck all those in anyway, but it's just very satisfying to walk around and pick them up. I'm going to take another 9 max HP just because it wasn't super great. There's a tier 3 shredder out of the blue as well. That luck is paying off for us. So this is 20 damage, but it has an 80% chance for an explosion. I'm going to hold off on that other shredder for now because there's other things that could potentially help us a lot more. There is a fish hook. I actually want that to get cursed because then it turns into a better fish hook, which gets an even better chance of finding corrupted things. The new shredder of mine will definitely do some damage. We do want some more pure explosive weapons, but for now we can easily get by on these. Bigger explosions are also going to be important though. I want universe destroying explosions. They need to be that big. That way I can just be lazy and not move anymore. I want the explosions to cover the whole map. Well, since it's offering, we'll take another 45 range. That already gives us 170. Nothing here got corrupted, so we're just going to scroll. 35% more materials from recycling items. You know what? I am going to grab that shredder anyway, just so we can get more rolls happening. There's another another shredder too. So now we get 2 tier 3 shredders. And as long as they have an 80% chance to explode with their fire rate, there should be lots of damage going out. There's so many items I want now. There's so many to pick from. There's so many fun builds. I always want a piggy bank though, so game, if you're listening, give me 2 piggy banks at the end of this and we'll really break things. I haven't used these shredders a lot, but they're actually really growing on me. Maybe it's extra damage we're putting on them. Probably doesn't hurt, but these things are absolutely wrecking everything. I don't know how much damage we put on this round, but it had to be a lot. 10% damage? Yes. We'll also take 3 armor because we have no armor yet. Our explosion damage is up to 45 already. That still didn't corrupt. Do we want plus 10 harvesting? Yeah, we probably do. I want the spyglass for range and reroll price. That reroll price is going to save me tons of money. We just rolled onto a tier 3 shredder, so we'll turn that into a tier 4 shredder. I assume that's going to have 100% explosive on hit, which will make it a really powerful addition to us. On to wave 10. They have armor, but I've got explosives, and explosives are obviously doing quite a bit of damage at this point. I'm not actually sure off the top of my head how many different explosive weapons there are in the game, but I know there's definitely a few we can work with. Wow, we finally took damage for the first time. That was kind of lazy of me. Now we're not going to add our explosive damage until we're at max health again, which we are now, I think. Definitely made some money and damage this round. This is fun, and this is free. 10% attack speed, 5% crit chance, 15 range. Our range is getting stupid. 15 luck? Yes, I do want rare items. 12% damage. We got corrupted wings, so we get 18% speed and 52 range. We also get 6 curse. There's also a rocket launcher, which is very good for our cause. I'm gonna lock those, actually, believe it or not, because I want some of this to corrupt somehow. We are about to fight a muscle shark, who's actually quite quick, so we gotta be sure not to be in its line of travel. Hopefully we kill it though, because it will give us a tier 4 item, which we need. Our individual DPS maybe isn't huge from what I'm seeing here, but our AoE is, and AoE is what this build is really all about. These things actually don't go off all that often. It's like a 0.8 second cooldown, so they're not going to be super rapid firing. So it's not going to be a lot of individual damage. It's just a big explosion every second. But as long as I can keep the big shark sort of in the group of enemies, there should be enough AoE damage to sort of take care of everything all at once. He is getting down there in HP, but we're also running out of time, so we're just going to try and focus on him. I don't actually think we're going to get him. The individual damage isn't quite high enough. That's okay though, it will get there. For now, we'll take a Shredder tier 2. I really want those to corrupt before I'm going to bother. We'll take the fish hook for now. Now there's a much higher chance of things corrupting. Honey's one we wanted. Explosion damage, explosion size. Yes. We did also find a cursed lantern, which is a unique. 18% damage, which is enormous. 91 rage, which is also enormous. 26 knockback, which I think is also crazy. Then knocks back enemies every 1 second, so they get knocked back and then exploded. Explosion damage is at 69. Explosion size is 30. 30% bigger is really big. I really should make a tier 4 shredder after this, just so we get constant explosions going out, just to be sure if we're getting that extra damage bonus. Because a lot of these are going off, they're not actually making explosions still. And at this point in the game, we need those explosions. I also want more trees. We need the thing that makes like the farms that makes trees spawn or fruits spawn every few seconds. We need lots of those. We'll take the metal though. HP, damage, armor, speed. Sunken bell. Once per wave you explode for 229 damage. Plus another 9 max HP. And for now the shredder did go, so we're gonna have a tier 4 corrupted. So projectiles explode on hit. Simple as that. 100 base damage. Cooldown is 0.73 seconds. I'm actually gonna combine some of my lower ones just because those only have a 50% chance. At least the blues have 65. We'll take the lantern at this point. Okay, I'm going to take the other shredder because we'll combine that into tier 2 and then the 2 tiers into tier 3. Now they all have at least an 80%. But the tier 4 by itself will be going off a lot, and we'll just get more explosions overall this way. And everyone's happier when more explosions exist. It really is some fantastic AoE damage. The individual is still going to be rough. Like boss fights, we're going to need to find some more damage for boss fights. But by then, we'll hopefully have more weapons at our disposal. I know we're getting up there in the waves, but I'm still going to do another 10 harvesting. We'll still get an extra 50 from that. Our rocket launcher corrupted. We also get an extra 15% explosion damage. Not even sure that's necessary at this point. But 102 is 102. I'm also going to take the peacock because it's going to give us 40% XP gain and 173 during the next wave. Enemies do more damage, but I just won't get hit. Plastic explosive, 25% explosion size. These are already getting really big, especially if we get that cursed. But we're going to get much more consistent explosions now, considering we have a tier 4 shredder and an RPG at this point. So this feels pretty good so far. We've only got 5 weapons. One of them, the RPG is only a tier 2 actually, so once that gets up to tier 4, that'll be super good. The individual damage still is a little bit worrying to me, but we'll eventually find some kind of weapon that'll help nullify that. Didn't mean to take damage, that's fine. This 12% damage straight up will be a help. We're already at 61% extra damage overall. I'm not even entirely sure how we did that. This is all paying all the stuff we got from our extra experience, 9% speed. Okay, so I want this. This is going to give us experience gain mostly, a little bit more knockback, not that we need it. We're going to choose between, we're going to get 25% bigger explosion size right away. 10% attack speed is also going to be important. So explosion size is already 50% bigger. Explosion damage, 111. So the bigger explosion size will definitely be good too, because that'll just be more overlap. Things will get hit by more and more explosions the bigger those get. I should also take any pickup I see that spawns extra loot monsters, because those are pickups too. Here's a cursed spyglass, so 15 range minus 41% reroll price. Another 9 max HP, yes. We're getting really good drops. There's another tier 3 shredder. There's another coffee for 18% attack speed. Since I have a tier 3 shredder that's cursed, we're going to combine that, so we now have 2 cursed tier 4s. These now fire every 0.66 seconds and do 136 damage. So if they're all aiming at a single target, that's quite a bit of damage, so that's going to be a little bit better for bosses. We also need anything that can cause more explosions, whether that's an effect on pickup or enemy death or whatever. More explosions are definitely going to make this really go bananas. We'll take another 15% attack speed. That's going to help a lot. That took this from 0.66 to 0.59 second cooldown. Here's 2 more XP gain items. I'm actually just going to take both of those because the more we can level up, the better. We have 100% extra XP gain at this point. I'm going to take the poisonous tonic. I don't think I'm going to spend the money on the dynamite, considering we're getting a lot of explosion damage independently of that. We don't need to spend money on it. Extra stomach is a big one, plus 1 max HP when picking up a consumable while at max health. So we're going to pick up items at max health, and that's going to have a double effect. Especially if that goes cursed, then that adds even more. I really should use explosions more often. It just cleans out those little idiots so quick. We are also coming up to the boss wave in just a few waves, so I really got to be sure to get some individual damage on somewhere. Okay, that didn't go, neither did that. I want those 2 to go cursed. An extra 23% damage is a big one. That's going to help all of our weapons. Plus 1 damage for every permanent 10 luck you have. 3% chance of finding an extra pearl in a crate. Oh, so we can get more pearls. You can get up to 20 of those. You can get 20% damage for every 10 luck. We are going to have to break the game with that at some point. I want to log that to see if I can get that cursed. If I get that cursed, that will be much bigger. I'm taking a pretty big risk right now by waiting for items to get cursed. We could be re-rolling those items instead and potentially getting better items, but I can't help but take a risk. Plus, I've got really big explosions. I'm not really that worried at all. It would be nice to find more RPGs, but they tend to be exceedingly rare. Wave 18 is going down really easy at this point, and we should have a 40% chance to corrupt items in between rounds, so there better at least be one of those cursed. 2 armor, 6% dodge, that's an easy choice. Another 6% dodge. Okay, the pearl is corrupted or cursed. Yes, I know I'm saying the wrong thing. We'll get over it. 3% damage for every 10 luck you have, 6% chance of finding an extra one. Poisonous tonic, 18% attack speed, 10% crit chance. Grind's magical leaf as well, 3 max HP at the end of a wave, 1 HP regen at the end of a wave, and lifesteal. We're gonna lock all of those things. It would be nice to get the extra stomach sooner than later, obviously. We're gonna need more than 79 HP, but that's workable for now. We've clearly got lots of damage, so enemies don't really get a chance to hurt us. The best offense is a good explosion. Wave 19 really went down without a problem until I stopped looking. There's another pearl. I wonder if this just adds to the corrupted one then, like they're both corrupted together. I hope so. I'm going to take 2 armor because we are going to start getting touched a lot more. We have 69 harvesting as well. We're going to take another 4 armor, so we have 42% damage reduction. There is my extra stomach cursed. So now 2 max HP when picking up, maximum 13 per wave. Also a cursed worm, so we're going to get 23% damage off that when we do buy it. The pearl did not also get cursed with the other one, so that's an individual thing. They don't stack. Oh, we're at the boss wave already. I didn't realize. Luckily we got the pretty easy boss to fight, at least so far, as long as you don't stand in a giant row of bullets. It's okay. I can't remember the second phase. Okay, it does get a little bit harder, but that thing's down to 60%, 50% HP already. So individual damage wise, obviously not super high. Okay, we're gonna stop taking damage now, but AoE and overall damage, very high. When we get too many of the bigger cursed enemies on screen, they can potentially touch me because they need a few explosions to kill them, which is why we need bigger explosions. We're getting lots of damage out of them though. Definitely getting harder to avoid damage, which is why I wanted to build up my dodge so much. Then I don't have to work so hard to maneuver around all these idiots. Your projectiles gain +1 bounce, 25% damage. Does that apply to like RPG projectiles? I hope it does. We're gonna take crit chance and dodge. We'll take range and attack speed. We won't. Yeah, we will take that. We will take 9% crit chance. We'll take another 15 luck because luck plays off the pearls so well. Still didn't have some things corrupt, but we'll take 23% damage there. There is another rocket launcher. Then we're going to do some rolling, hoping for some more explosives to turn up at some point. We didn't find an explosive, but we did find this. 6 armor, 16% dodge, 100% chance to drop a material right when it's dropped. And that's just going to have the ground cleaned up. We're not going to litter quite so much. Looks like some of the projectiles are bouncing as well too, so that feels good. The shredder ones definitely are. The RPG ones looks like they are as well. And that really is good because now we're going to get 2 explosions for everything fired. And obviously the more explosions, the more damage. So our max health has definitely climbed up to 112 already. Our explosion damage is got to be getting up there as well. We're picking up tons of pickups. 10% attack speed and 5% crit chance. That's good enough for me for now. Explosion damage is almost 200%, so that obviously feels very good. Crit chance is up to 30. This got corrupted, 5 armor, 13 dodge. Yeah, that's going to be a good one for us. Now we can free up that spot. We also take 59% less damage and have almost max dodge. That's the kind of thing we're looking for. Tier 4 rocket launcher. That's got half a second cooldown and it's got 1 bounce. Plus my current rocket launcher that's uncursed is 142. This does 358. That's a giant step up in damage. We're also going to make item prices cheaper. But now I've got to save up for that RPG. We're going to fight 2 elites here, but we should have an easier time of it because our attack and damage is much higher. And our projectiles bounce. Yeah, the first time we didn't even kill one of those. That time we destroyed both of them and they're much stronger. Here's another pearl. Damage goes up. 25% explosion size. Plus another 16% damage. Things are getting bigger. There's also a shredder we're going to lock. I want this to get corrupted, so we're going to lock it for a while. This finally got corrupted. That took forever. There is also the goldfish that's cursed. Items will be 2 tiers higher after the next reroll. We got a wand. I've got nothing against wands, but I don't want one here. Right back to work. I need more money. I need more explosions. This was definitely a slow start to this build, but it's definitely making progress now. We are absolutely melting this. This is wave 23, and look at the size of these explosions. We'll take another 16 luck. We've been floating by on luck for a while. I don't want that. Rocket launcher got cursed. 856 damage. There's also a tier 4 Warhammer, which is just a cool find. I'm sorry, I got mesmerized by 56 damage. We get minus 1% attack speed for every different weapon you have, which we'd only lose 2% attack speed for 56% damage. I want the RPG though, so we're going to save for that. All we got to do is destroy this wave of purple morons, which should be very little effort. I'm still not at the point where I want to turn up the explosion effect, but we might get there before too long. It's going to depend on our attack speed and how many idiots there are out there. We're also taking little bits of damage here and there. I'm not really sure what's even hitting us at this point. That will be curbing our damage upgrades as well, but it's all good. We're at 166 max HP. Shoot 6 alien eyes around you, dealing every 3 seconds to 228. Why not? Attack speed and range? Yes, we have tons of armor, so we can sacrifice some 20% attack speed. So we'll combine those two into a tier 3 RPG. That one does 554. This one's going to do 873 and it fires over 2 times per second. So that's going to do real big things for our damage. Those are colossally damaging explosions. Explosion damage is up to 234. I thought it would be higher, but explosion size is up to 80. So obviously they're getting real big. So there's tons of overlap. I do think the increasing attack speed will be good for this. Simply because the RPGs aren't super quick by default, so the quicker we can get them going, obviously the better. But I suppose once we buy this, we'll get a tier 4, but I also want that 56% damage. So that'll take our big rocket launcher from 910 up to 1008. That added 100 damage. Plus I'm going to buy another shredder. I'll just buy this one. That way we now have 2 shredders, 3 shredders with 100% explosion chance. Plus I re-rolled a few times. There's another tier 4 shredder, so if that gets cursed, we'll put it right there. More like when it gets cursed. It'll happen eventually, probably within a few rounds. The extra explosions are really helping at this point. I think what made the single biggest difference so far is the bouncing bullets. We'll check the DPS after this wave to see what's actually doing the most damage, and then we'll know how to adjust ourselves moving forward. And then we'll forget but within a round and screw everything up. But for now, we're gonna have a good time. Projectiles pierce to one additional target. I think I actually want that because that might cause an extra explosion. I'm not really sure, but we're going to try. Do we want another 50% experience gain? Of course we do. And another 20% attack speed. Ooh, that dopamine. Didn't find anything at the shop, but there is a whistle. 50% chance for loot aliens to appear. They drop a crate. Crates can give us pearls and items and explosion damage, which is now up to 265. I definitely also forgot to check DPS on the weapons at the end of that wave, so we'll definitely do it this time. We're planning on it at the very least. It will be curious to see what's actually doing the most damage. Sometimes it's very counterintuitive, but this wave is going down very easy and there's so many drops on the ground now. This is when we're really going to start to add up a lot of extra explosive damage. There's another 2 armor and 6 dodge. Our armor is now 61% less damage. Dodge is up to 60%. Well, there's going to be another tier 4 rocket launcher for 1100 damage. We got 2 of those. The damage last wave was mostly caused by this thing. Tier 4 rocket launcher, 280,000 damage. 91,000 for the shredder. The tier 3 only did 28,000. I feel like I shouldn't even keep that anymore. The RPGs are doing way more. So it would be great if I could just find more RPGs. 2 free rerolls in the shop. Yes. And we found honey, explosion damage, explosion size. We're gonna lock that so it gets cursed. Look at all those red weapons. That's feeling a little better. Our damage is going up a lot every round. And I hope the explosion size like scales and compounds. That way 10% on top of 80% would be like a true 88%. But it doesn't really matter. The explosions are getting pretty big. The screen's getting flashy. Hitting an enemy removes 5% of their speed, max 20%. That helps another 16% damage. It just wants us to have all that damage. Okay, we found another tier 4 shredder, so we're going to take that. That's a considerable upgrade. So for the first time this round, we have 6 tier 4 weapons. And I believe they're all cursed. So they're going to be real strong. Getting to be a lot of explosions out there. I am sad because we haven't found a few of the other explosive weapons yet, but we still have some time. There's another pearl, and we'll take another 20 luck. I just realized all of my stats are green at this point. We don't have anything in the red, which is unusual for me. Explosion damage hit 303%. We also have an 82% chance for loot aliens to appear. That's also going to add to our damage and HP. Okay, we're going to jump onto wave 30 where there's going to be lots of bosses. Hopefully we get some overlapping damage on them, because if all 3 bosses target us at once, we could actually die fairly quickly. 3 bosses is a lot to handle at once. Yeah, I got one of them almost dead already. I didn't even realize I was attacking him. He's basically standing on top of my head and I didn't notice amongst the chaos. Gonna keep going. I definitely hit something there. I didn't even see it. I just heard the squishy sound. I think we're gonna get those guys wrapped up pretty quick. The nice thing about this build is like everything gets wiped out, so it does actually clean up the screen a lot. Obviously we can't see past explosions, but it's fairly enemy free considering where we're at. Okay, that boss is dead. And is there one more boss out there? Nope, he's also dead. Okay, we're gonna pick that up and keep rolling. 10% attack speed is perfectly fine by me. RPG might actually be takeable over one of these, considering this did 192,000. The RPGs are doing 700. They're doing 4 times the damage. If that was upgraded, I would absolutely take it. We'll take a goldfish. Items will be 1 tier higher. That's interesting. You have a 50% chance to explode for 6,600 damage when you get hit. There's another ricochet. That would be so stupidly strong. Especially if we can get that to curse. So if we can add 2 extra bounces to that, I think we could have 3 bounces in 1 or 2 pierces. So every one of these explosives can go off many times per shot. Plus their RPGs are firing at 0.37 per second, so it's well over 2 per second. The strong cursed squid enemies are surviving quite a few explosions though, so we gotta keep up on the damage. There's another pearl. Those are gotta be adding a lot. Landmines deal engineering damage, but we'll take them anyway. You think landmines would explode for explosive damage, but what do I know? We'll take some more range, why not? Okay, we got a bunch of things cursed. The ricochet is cursed, plus 2 bounces is insane. For now, we'll take the fishhook, which is cursed. So between those, we have 74% chance of cursing items. This is what we needed earlier on. It spawns a garden that creates a fruit every 15 seconds. If we got a bunch of those, explosive damage would be even higher, and it's at 314. Okay, this is where the elite's going to spawn. That's the elite over there. So we'll land a whole bunch of damage on that. It's already down to 80% HP. There are other elites. Luckily, our explosions overlap, so we're hitting multiple elites at once. I think I have a lot of HP regen at this point too, which is helping me stay alive. It's probably actually saved me once or twice already. Okay, pretty sure the elites are all dead at this point. They just bunch up and the explosions just go crazy on them. Plus, I guess if something does hit me, I tend to explode sometimes. I think that's when the trigger is. So I release big damage. Another pearl. I gotta check how much damage those are giving me. Okay, there's another pearl again. We got 7, so this is gonna give me 16% damage, I guess, times 7 plus the cursed one. Well, the honey finally cursed at least. You can just barely not afford the ricochet, so I'll buy this for now. Range damage, and explosion size are the big ones. Then we just gotta hope that we make a lot of money this round, which we should because we got a lot of idiots to kill. Throughout the 30s, the waves definitely get a lot stronger. We're on wave 33 and definitely enemies are living for way longer than they should be. We will take another for armor. We still can't afford the ricochet. We got some cool other choices though. That finally got cursed as well. Can spawn a garden every 7 seconds. That's also fun. The RPGs are up to 1436 damage as well, so they are not messing around. I just hit something and it took off like 80 HP. That's a lot of HP. I don't know what it was, but it really hurt. I'm already starting to get walled into the corner just a little bit. So that's not really a great sign. I need to be able to move around cleanly. That way I can dictate the pace. I will take another 5 HP regeneration. We regenerate 1 HP every 0.36 seconds. I want my second ricochet now. And just going to reroll a few times. I want focus next as well. That's an extra 63% damage, which is enormous. I don't think I even want the garden anymore. There's so many drops anyway. We don't need it. So that just uselessly took up room. But we got extra ricochets now, so every time we fire, we're going to get a lot of explosions out of that. So we have pretty efficient use of weapons. Getting 2 extra explosions per bullet fired is crazy high damage. So many flashes now. Getting the flashiness we wanted. I got really greedy for that treasure chest, but I somehow got away with that. There's another pearl. We'll take that. RPG did 2 million damage last round. They're pretty consistent. These guys only did like 500,000, so the RPGs do 4 times more. So if the game ever wanted to give me more explosive weapons, I wouldn't complain. This build is definitely pretty strong though. This is wave 36, and wave 36, 37 is often the end because I think there's just a big increase in difficulty somewhere right here. And I'm pretty sure I can actually feel the difference at this point. It's definitely taking a little bit longer to kill the enemies. Well, this wave went down pretty easy. The enemies are getting tough, but we were perfectly fine. We'll take another 20% attack speed, so the RPGs are now firing every almost 3 times a second. They're currently at 1475 damage. After buying this, they're up to 1600 damage. There's my beloved minigun. It doesn't cause explosions though, so we're gonna wave goodbye to it. Wave 37 will surely be my friend. I just took a ton of damage because I was taking a drink. There's so many explosions though. I want more ricochets. I need another 2, 3, 4 of those. Especially if we can get that with the obliterator or something. Imagine that going off. It'd be like 10,000 damage times 8. I think it's those squid things that fire all those red lines at me. That's what always gets me, because they pile up and just hit you so quickly. I've unlocked the thing that boosted range and attack speed. We don't really need that. If I could get a better version of the potato, I'd take it. Not that a lot of that stuff is really significant at this point. Spawn a lot more trees. I kind of actually want that, because that's just simply adding more healing for me and upgrades. And then it's back to work. Hopefully there's less of this stabbing squids. Everything else is much easier to deal with. Okay, I just got absolutely destroyed. What we needed really was more RPGs and less shredders.